In the 1990s, David Stremme made a name for himself in the Midwestern short track scene. 24 feature wins in the late 1990s was good enough to catch the attention of Hamke Racing, a team in ASA. From 2000 to 2001, he made 14 starts for 4 different teams. Ron Daniels finally gave him his full-time opportunity in 2002, where he put up 2 wins, 13 top 5s, and 15 top 10s in 20 starts, good enough to end the season 4th in the standings. Stremme's performance in ASA was good enough to catch the attention of NASCAR Cup Series owner Chip Ganassi. At the age of 25, he was signed to their development program, where they threw him straight in the NASCAR Busch Series. In 2003, he made a total of 18 starts for both James Fitch and Todd Braun. Despite not running the whole season, he showed enough ability and performance to win the 2003 Busch Series Rookie of the Year, scoring 3 top 5s and 7 top 10s with an average finish of 12th. Not bad for a part-time rookie. The next step is obviously to go full-time, and over the next 2 seasons, he would do just that, driving for both Todd Braun and Terry Bradshaw. By the end of 2005, David Stremme was viewed as one of NASCAR's brightest prospects. Considering back in the day the Busch Series let Cup guys race whenever during the season, it would be a lot harder for a new driver to come in and perform at a high level. Even though Stremme never won, he still combined for 10 top 5s and 24 top 10s over the next 2 seasons. But unfortunately, he also combined for 18 DNFs over that span. Even though he was viewed as one of NASCAR's brightest prospects, there was still a lot of development left to do. However, Chip Ganassi thought otherwise. David Stremme was set to drive full-time for Chip Ganassi in the NASCAR Cup Series beginning in 2006. Before that season came, he made 4 Cup Series starts in 05, in which he DNF'd in 3 of them. In fairness to him, 2 of those were tire failures, but still, even though 2 of the 3 DNFs were tire failures, this decision still left you scratching your head a bit. Chip Ganassi Racing was in full rebuild mode, with 2 of their 3 drivers being rookies, in both David Stremme and Reed Sorensen. And even though Stremme showed a ton of ability at times, he was also extremely inconsistent and was approaching 30 years old. The writing was on the wall that the 2006 season was going to be a learning year for David Stremme. The end result was one of the worst rookie seasons in NASCAR history.
Bob there.
40 car down there, he's spinning around, spinning everywhere after the accident.
Vickers will take it behind the wall. Stremme to pit road. Dave Blaney around. And everything stacks up.
You see Michael Waltrip in the 55 car. Come in here, I think you're right. You could see the front tires sliding on the car.
So that wasn't quite a rocket launch, Matt, but pretty damaging there for Stremme. Let's see what happened.
Stremme in the 40 is a lap down right here, racing with Ryan Newman in the 12, Kenny Schrader in the 21.
Whoops. Looked like Kenny was going down when Stremme was coming up.
Typical Martinsville.
Left front, right rear. Not good. He's got the 40 car under him right there. You see the 40 car gets a little bit loose, and up the hill he goes right into the 48. That was that little wiggle just like the 11 had, except 11 had nobody beside of him.
And again, Johnson takes a wild slide as Friday and keeps it off of both walls.
And just to update the fans that maybe joined us late, our points leader, Jimmy Johnson, there's where a lot of the damage came from.
Watch the 43 car. Boom. That's just a chain reaction. Wrong place at the wrong time sometimes.
Yeah, we got a piece of that there, boys.
Watch the 40 car. Blows the right front, right here. Boom. And into the wall. Hit the wall hard enough to break rotors and
all that other good stuff. So they had to take that car behind the wall, and they got a lot of work to do.
David Stremme's on board. Ouch!
Well, you see the guy.
What was it, Vicker? Wait a minute. What was it Vicker said?
Vicker said nobody deserves to get hit on pit road except for maybe this guy.
Well, it's just David, your side of this.
You know, they weren't even gassing the car, and the guy's backing up in my pit stall, and I'm like, what's going on here? You know, I got to go.
J.J. Yaley in the middle of the track. You can see the damage to the car. And this is...
Plant spotted all the tires.
Yeah, Yaley looked like on the inside of the 40 of Stremme. He was... You can't run two cars going into the corner that close to each other, because the guy on the bottom is going to lose the downforce on the back of his car. And that's what happened with Yaley. He went in the corner. He was too close to the 40. He got sideways, ran into the 40, and they both wrecked.
David Stremme has gone around in turn 4, caution number 3.
Yeah, I'd say he had a little contact there.
McMurray in 26?
Yes, sir.
It is.
And Wally, you're correct. Casey Kane is the lucky dog.
Stremme's in the
David
wall.
Stremme involved.
I don't think Casey may have just slid up against a wall. See how much damage he has, but his car looked fairly clean on the left side. Oh, he got run into.
By Kane, I guess.
Wow. Casey Kane probably thought he was clear, didn't know the 40 was up there, but because you saw Casey just went hard to the right. Yeah, he was going up there to get his angle down into the corner, and probably was pretty surprised.
0 top 10s and an average finish of 26.4 makes this without question one of the worst rookie seasons ever. After finishing outside the top 30 in points, there was nowhere to go but up for 2007. The first quarter of the season was looking promising. Not only did he score his first career top 10, but he scored 2 and was sitting 14th in the standing, even being as high as 11th at one point. Him being 14th in the standings just 9 races in meant he was within striking distance of making that season's chase for the Cup. However, it was too good to be true, as David Stremme would go on to score just 1 top 10 for the rest of the year.
I agree with you, buddy, because that thing just kind of all of a sudden it just gets loose, and then she just goes around.
This was one of the cars making wholesale changes this morning. In fact, they put the full setup out from Reed Sorensen's car.
Got a car around turn 4. Stremme in the 40 car.
Caution will fly.
Richard was 22 years old first time he won here. That looked like he just spun out there.
David Stremme in the 40 just totally on his own.
I know that car ever since he and the 9 got together there a little earlier on the front straightaway. Well, getting a lot of cars back on the lead lap.
David Reagan up and into the wall. Reagan was a lap down and in the midst of onrushing traffic and got in somebody's way.
See him start to ease up. He knows they're probably telling him Jimmy Johnson's there. He and Tony actually make a little contact. Tony did a good job of hanging on to his piece.
You could see him fighting it in there.
Look at the 17 slide by.
On board with Stremme.
David is going to get run into.
Yep.
What they're working about?
Wow.
I think that was just guys checking up, and some guys didn't check up fast enough.
That's hard to say. He's already sideways in that shot, but it's hard to say who hit who. There's Carl just barely getting through it.
Off of turn 2. Spins around, lots of smoke, and the 00 somehow is able to avoid him and not get into contact. 99 of Edwards trying to go by. They're rubbing paint as Edwards slips by. Here comes Truex.
Oh, there's a perfect... That's what happens when the curb comes up and 2 guys are trying to go at the same spot. David Stremme got the worst of that deal. It wasn't David's fault.
Watch him coming off turn 4. He just slides sideways right by the camera.
We heard a lot of these guys talking about they needed forward bite. That's the rear tires to hook up to the racetrack. It looks like he just lost it, lost that rear grip. Spins the car down the grass. Boy, he's real lucky there. Didn't hit anything.
David Stremme has gone around in the Dodge, number 40.
Looks like he's on a right rear tire.
Yeah, blue right rear.
See a lot of smoke coming out of the back of David Stremme's car, indicating an engine problem.
He's got a left rear tire flat right here. Man.
Oh, he goes up and just gets the side of Kyle Petty right in front of the 21 of Elliott. He has nowhere to go.
After finishing 24th in the standings, Chip Ganassi had enough. Stremme was released after the 2007 season and went back to the newly named NASCAR Nationwide Series to rebuild his career. In his only season driving for Rusty Wallace, he scored 5 top 5s and 16 top 10s and finished 11th in the standings, despite missing 3 races. When you look at his age and stats on paper, you felt like the prospect of him going back to Cup full-time for a top team was slim to none. But oh boy, are you in for a surprise, because for the 2009 season, Stremme was signed to drive full-time for Team Penske in what was considered their second best team after longtime driver Ryan Newman left. This was going to be, without question, a put up or shut up type season. The good news is he put up his best average finish that season. The bad news is it was 25th.
Turn 2. It looked like maybe Stremme, I'm not sure. Yeah.
He was running in the 13th position.
I believe he got bumped.
Quiet, we got pit. Got a pit.
The 8th caution of the day, and it comes just a few laps after.
You know, I
Kevin
think he may have
Harvick's
had a tire down or something. Oh, that car got loose before he got hit.
Stremme.
Stremme in the 12 car just went around.
Caution is out.
We got some coming outside.
Yeah, you see him right here.
Yep.
He just loses it off the 2, which is, you kind of get a big handful of steering wheel coming up out there in throttle under power, and all of a sudden the back end will jump out with you. Here's Stremme, turns under Carl right here, the 99. They make a little contact, and
he just stayed against him.
But you know, he had to, Larry. If he backs off, the 99 comes across his front, across his hood, and would put them both in the wall. Ooh. Lots of things.
Bonnie, the 96 car, you see just nowhere for the 48 Jimmy Johnson to go.
Multiple issues. Might have gotten into the 12.
Yeah, boy, right in front of Kyle Busch in the 18, and he keeps it against the inside wall, but you're going to see him right here go up the racetrack. Look at David Ruderman right there, just turn it dead left.
That was a great job.
That thing just busted loose, and he was just hanging on for the ride at this point.
Told the team the car had been loose up until then.
You see the 12 car, he gets tapped, he gets into the back. It's like Casey gets in the back of him.
Yeah, and that's what happens with these cars sometimes. If you're not dead straight when you're hitting the guy in front of you bump drafting, you're going to turn them straight into the wall.
There's the 12 car getting into the 7 as he exited turn 1.
12 is getting wrecked, okay? I don't care, NASCAR can park here, whatever, but he's getting wrecked. 2 times, he wrecked me in 1, and he wrecked me in 3.
They kind of developed on back in the corner. See, Robbie Gordon is trying to send a message to David Stremme. I don't think David was accepting it too well here.
You see, Stremme pulls over to the inside. They continue to race. Down in the tunnel turn, everything's okay right here. But as we exit, it's like, did Robbie Gordon turn down on him there, Dale? No. It looked like Stremme lost the nose of his car right there. The inner loop, and folks, that won't work even too wide.
No, there goes Stremme through the grass. He's going around in front of these guys.
Oh, man. Jeff Gordon gets a piece of it. So does Kevin Harvick.
Harvick. Got
Carl Edwards right there.
Uh-oh, contact.
Trouble.
Yeah, this is going to be trouble, guys.
And Stremme spins it. So far, no contact. There's Ambrose getting by. David Stremme's car up across and taps the outside wall. Back after this message and a word from our ABC station.
See, he'd been running at Highland, but his car got loose. You can see chase it up there. Pretty hard hit. Probably pretty good bit of damage. See him working on the right front.
There's the contact.
Yeah, there was actually contact. Looked like they might get out of that, but then the one car got into the back of David Stremme, and that kind of sent him back into the 77 once again.
After scoring 0 top 10s, he was let go with 3 races left in the season for future Cup Series champion Brad Keselowski. Stremme went on to race part-time for underfunded Cup teams until 2014, and he's still driving race cars today. He's won at Winchester, he's won the World Short Track Championship, and even a World of Outlaws race on Dirt Bristol. There's no question that in damn near every single racing series you can think of in America, David Stremme is a phenomenal wheelman. But unfortunately, let's be real, when it comes to his NASCAR Cup Series career, we have to label him as another NASCAR bust. And once again, that'll do it for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.